and our grandfather left us this creepy old farmhouse in the middle of nowhere.
Your father wasn't much of a homemaker. He could hardly keep the power on.
You're saying he left us nothing?
Well, I wouldn't say nothing.
This is such a phenomenon. Ghostbusters is global. It expands generations. Like, it doesn't matter when you were born, you probably have seen this movie. What do you think makes this franchise so special and kind of makes it also timeless to where, you know, however many years later, people are still going nuts for the idea of another installment?
Sometimes you can catch lightning in a bottle, and the original Ghostbusters seems to have done it. Why might be, it's probably a combination of things. I think it's the perfect cast. Everybody is great in it. It seamlessly blends a few different genres, and it did that at a time that we hadn't really seen that in quite that way, where something was kind of scary but also really funny. And probably more than anything, the people who made it, created it, like the people who were in it and filmed it, wrote it, it came from their own, like, you know, their imagination. And so it was made with a level of care and love and craftsmanship that sometimes you only get when it's your own thing. So everything worked. It had a killer song. And,
Yeah.
you know, that was huge when it came out. It's played in theaters for a long time. It was unique, and that's why it's stood the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Carrie, he said a lot, but I'll have anything. What do you think?
Well, I can say that, you know, I think what Jason Reitman has done really well is he's maintained that original spirit that Paul just illuminated for us. But in addition, and he's also made this thing very organically. I think it feels like it comes out of Jason's love for something that was part of his family legacy, his childhood. He grew up on that set, and you feel the love that he's infused the story with. And he took a lot of time before he decided he was ready to take on the film. I mean, it's something he didn't actively mean to do. It just kind of came to him, again, very organically. So I think it kind of inevitably maintains that same balance and spirit of the original film. And it invites this whole new generation in to appreciate it in such a smart and thoughtful way. And it just feels like an old school movie that we all used to see in the theaters in the 80s and the 90s. And so I think it's just the perfect way. I can't imagine anybody else doing it better.
I love that. Both of you are obviously clear fans of the series and the original, but Paul, I'll start with you. Do you have a favorite moment from the Ghostbusters series?
Certain things come to mind. I remember really laughing at Venkman showing the flashcards. I love Rick Moranis, a huge SCTV fan, and everything that Rick Moranis did in the movie buckled me. So, you know, those are a few things that kind of stick out. Yeah.
Carrie, what about you?
I'll always remember the library ghost. I'm somebody who likes to be scared, and it's really hard to scare me. So I think that's a really great scary moment in the original film. And then I always remember the sequence with Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray when he comes to her apartment and she's been possessed. Yeah. There's something about the juxtaposition of that sort of is exactly what the balance that the movie strikes is all about. It's sort of comedy and horror happening at the same time, and just those two really excellent actors working together. It was a lot of fun. And watching Sigourney Weaver, who's this sort of elegant presence, do something like that's so sort of animal and demonic was really fun, just as an actor to appreciate now looking back.
Yeah, I think Jason said that this is the scariest movie you saw as a kid, or the funniest movie that you sort of like saw as an adult. And I think that's like part of the reason why I think everybody can have a connection towards it. But also because of it, I would say with this new installment, we're sort of opening things up to maybe having new folks in it. And I'm gonna have to ask both of you, is there anyone that you would want to bring into this, into the ghost? But like, who would you want to see suit up with the proton pack? Is basically what I'm saying. Carrie, I'll start with you.
Oh man, oh my gosh, that's such a hard question.
But it's a fun one.
It's a really fun one. No, it's really fun. Okay. Let me think of like a total badass. Okay.
If you got one, Paul, feel free to shout
Regina King. I want Regina King in there with me.
That's actually a great one. That is
Isn't
a great
it?
one. Her and the Watchmen. Very good. Very well done.
Like, let's bring her over here.
Yeah, I'm digging it. Paul?
The first person that popped into my mind was Patrick Mahomes, because he can do anything.
Oh my God, you had to bring Kansas into this, but I respect you for it. I really do. Anyway, one of the other rules of Ghostbusters, or kind of rules of Ghostbusters, is you don't cross the streams. Are there any other tips that either you would like to share now having been in a Ghostbusters movie? And Paul, start with you.
Yeah, maybe don't put on a proton pack until you've really centered yourself. Really like it's not easy. They're they can be clumsy.
They can be clumsy.
By the way, I'm assuming I never got to try one on, and I'm still upset about it.
Are you really upset about it?
No, I'm not upset about it.
Okay. I'm like, you've gotten some pretty cool equipment over the years.
I know. I have no room to be upset about anything. My God.
Yeah.
I got to be at a movie with a Ghostbusters movie. I got to hold a ghost trap, and the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
This is a good year for you. I feel it. Carrie, real quick for you, what would you say is advice now that you've been in a Ghostbusters franchise?
I can't give advice as a Ghostbusters, because I feel like the rules are so clearly delineated in the world of the film. But I can say, as an actor, if you are going to use a proton pack, you have to be ready to do that, whatever that gesture is that implies the power of that thing. Each of the actors, the OGs, have their own style, and McKenna kind of found her style. And I think if you're going to put one of those on as an actor, you have to be prepared to use your whole body in that way, and it's very specific.
I found this in my living room.
Whoa, killer replica.
A replica of what?
A ghost trap?
I'm hoping you guys had a pretty good knowledge of Ghostbusters before you joined, but what was it like sort of joining this universe that so many people love, and how much did you know about it going in? And Finn, I'll start with you.
I think McKenna might be even more of a Ghostbusters fan than I am, but I think we're both huge fans. And that really helped inform us, when we did the movie. Yeah, we really respected, obviously, the original source material. We're giant fans, so it really helped.
Excellent. When was the first time you guys watched it? Was it at home? I guess it had to be at home.
I barely remember when I first watched it. Yeah, exactly. I barely remember.
Both of us were really little, so it's hard to remember. But my mom has a picture of me holding the VHS of Ghostbusters, because that's when I first watched it.
Yeah, it was a movie that was always on in my house. It was always on TV. It was always recorded, or
I don't have the specific memory, but I have so many memories.
I have a lot of memory. I have very specific memory, or not. I don't have a specific memory, but I have I have a collective memory of just watching it over the years. So yeah,
that's awesome. I mean, both of you in incredible careers in just, I would say, a short amount of time, but you've been on some big movie sets. But I would have to feel that being on this one, especially with Ivan and Jason and the lineage, it had to be different. So McKenna, I'll start with you. What do you think was different about shooting this as opposed to maybe another, big budget thing like Captain Marvel or any of the other stuff you've done?
Well, this is really special because this is continuing the Ghostbusters legacy all of these years later. It's bringing it back to the big screen. Ghostbusters has always been around. The films have always been here, but there hasn't been a continuation of the second film or the last films.
Yeah.
How many years has it been?
I think it was 80, 88. Second one's 80.
I mean,
if it's in the 80s, then that's still a really long
80s.
time.
Yeah,
That's a
nearly
while
40 years
for us to make another. It's not a remake. It's not a different kind. It's a direct continuation of the second film. So it's really special because it's bringing back all of this nostalgia and memories that come with the first Ghostbusters, but it's revamped. It's newer, and it's something that you can introduce if your kids for some reason haven't seen Ghostbusters already. Then it's something to reconnect people into the Ghostbusters idea. It's this whole, the Ghostbusters fans are so cool. They're like this big family. There's Ghostbusters in every single city. There's Ghostbuster clubs where they dress up, and it's the coolest thing ever. So many people are so connected to this film. So it's really special to be able to bring it back.
Finn, I'll ask you because it seems, and maybe it's just the luck of the casting or whatever, that you've been on a bit of a nostalgia bent, either set in nostalgia type times for someone like me or throwing back to it. And I'm just curious, you probably know a lot more about the 80s and like that Amblin sort of timeline than the average 19-year-old. And I'm just curious if there's an aspect you sort of being in the younger generation are jealous of. So like I grew, like, I'm sure you don't miss the idea that we had to like rewind VHSs, but I'm sure there's probably something that was cool from back then.
I don't know, like all of the Nickelodeon cartoons, like from the 90s are like incredible. The video games, like being able, I don't know, just it was a lot.
It's a pretty cool time.
It seemed like more of like, and yeah, the music too, like grunge and everything. And I feel like it was also just like a more there was no global pandemic. That was cool. Yeah, you could like walk outside your house without feeling scared all the time in the 90s. You know,
I like that
now every kid has a phone, and so like if you go out for like an hour, your parents will text you like, "Where are you?" That was not a thing really in the 80s and 90s. You would just leave your house and then come back whenever you wanted to come back.
Yes, that was definitely a thing.
Cool.
No, I actually, it was like you had to be home by the street light if you guys are curious.
Exactly.
That was what it
Totally.
was. Also, McKenna, in again just a short amount of time, you have played alongside Captain Marvel, now Ant-Man, and Captain America. And so I'm just going to go ahead and be that because we're Rotten Tomatoes and this is who we are. Who do you think would be the perfect addition to the Ghostbusters like team of those ones? I know Ant-Man, we kind of did that anyway, but like literally, like really.
Well, like their characters?
Yeah, like their actual characters, not just like Paul Rudd or Chris Evans.
Who would fit best?
Or who would you just want on your team?
I mean, honestly, like I feel like Ant-Man would totally, which is funny that Paul Rudd was in our film, but like whenever you think about it, I feel like he'd be totally into,
he has the comedic thing. Like I think,
you know,
just
the idea of like his character being a part of it, which pretty much like Paul Rudd's character really geeked out over all the stuff. Like he was like the manifestation of the Ghostbusters fans in the film.
Totally.
I like that. No, I
throughout
totally
it, if you watch
that.
him, anytime he looks at the stuff, he's like, oh, that's cool.
That's awesome. And then Finn, I'll sort of like switch yours up for you a little bit. Anybody, like it seems like maybe we may be opening up this new universe to potentially more Ghostbusters things. You know, that's always the hope whenever they have something like this come out. Who would you maybe want to see suit up with a proton pack? Actor like or anything. Like an actor you'd want to maybe see sort of join this universe, or just maybe, I don't know, even characters. I don't know. I'm all about mashups here.
Yeah, totally. Another character that would be good. I don't know, like maybe having, I don't know, like it's always fun like having someone that's precocious. So I don't know, like be cool. You know what I really like? Precocious. You know what'd be really cool actually is if we added just something animated. Like we're all live action.
like the pig from the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're all live action and then we have like a member of the team that's animated.
Call it luck. Call it karma. I believe that everything happens for a reason.
First thing, congratulations on the film. I guess this is like a 40+ year journey. You literally grew up on Ghostbusters set. So I have to wonder, when did this idea first spring to you, and sort of like, when did you start mapping it out? Because that's gotta be very intimidating.
I mean, like, you know, I'm like anyone who ever fell in love with the original Ghostbusters film as a kid. I've, had Ghostbusters ideas bouncing through my head my entire life. I never thought I'd make one of these movies. People ask me all the time, would you ever make a Ghostbusters movie? And I thought they wanted to see my Ghostbusters movie. But the truth is, they just wanted to see a Ghostbusters movie. They wanted to see the pack again, the traps again, the Ecto-1 fly around the corner. They want to see the guys again. And when this family popped into my head, a 12-year-old girl with a proton pack, a teenage boy finding Ecto-1 in a barn, it became a story I needed to tell.
I love that. Also, in the intro that you gave us last night, you mentioned the familial aspect on set. So I'll put it to you this way. what was the best part that came out of having your dad on set every day? And what was the day that you were like, I really wish he would go on a vacation?
All right. So the best part is this. You have the world's leading Ghostbusters expert sitting next to you on set. And whether you are trying to figure out the right color slime, whether the terror dog's moving the same way, or frankly, just how to make a better movie, I have one of the world's best storytellers and filmmakers sitting next to me. And that was a gift. That said, if you imagine your parents going with you to work every day and weighing in on all decisions, that might get a little frustrating sometimes. And obviously, you never want to be caught on set going, Dad. So we had to learn how to be both father, son, and producer director at the same time. But it was the experience of a lifetime.
That's incredible. Yeah, you're definitely going to be able, and honestly, a bit of a role reversal because you cameo in Ghostbusters too. So it's like this is now kind of coming full circle. That's awesome.
You know what? I'll give it to you even better. My mother, my sister, and I were in the original Ghostbusters, but we got cut out. And we went into the original footage and found it, and we cut it back into Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Yeah.
I think I know where that is now.
Yeah, it's actually in the trailer of the movie of Afterlife. And, you know, you see Paul Rudd showing footage to the kids on a laptop, and there's a woman with 2 kids running out of a building, and that's us.
Oh my God, that's so great. Justice. That's what you can do when you have Final Cut, right?
That's the only reason I made the movie. I want it back in.
Excellent. The next one I definitely wanted to ask you, you kind of alluded to it, is there's something just really special about Ghostbusters. I feel like it's just transcended the globe, it's transcended languages, anything. People can understand this idea of fighting wacky ghosts with these, you know, these characters. And then when you're doing it again, I think that's still a part of it. But what is the special sauce of sort of Ghostbusters? What are the ingredients to make a successful Ghostbusters film? And what were like the cardinal rules you had to bring into this one?
It's a great question. And we spent so long thinking about this. This is a movie made by hundreds of artists and craftspeople who loved Ghostbusters. And Ghostbusters might be the scariest film you ever saw when you were 7, or the funniest film you ever saw as a teenager. It really is different things to different people. But there's an iconography to those ghosts. Slimer, the Marshmallow Man, the Terror Dog, Gozer, the Gatekeeper, the Keymaster. I mean, these are things that are now part of the vernacular. And we wanted to bring it back to life in this film with old ghosts, new ghosts, old equipment, new equipment. This is a Ghostbusters film for everyone, whether it's the 100th time you've seen a Ghostbusters film or this is the first time out.
I love that. The other thing I definitely have to ask you is, and again, you've talked a lot about this too, is the Easter eggs. And I tried, I was like in it on the Easter egg hunt. Don't want to give too much away, but what would you say is like, if you were giving someone the top level Ghostbuster Easter egg, if they can find that, and which one was personal to you?
Oh, wow. I mean, okay. The most personal Easter eggs to me are strangely the audio ones. We went back into the original sound files, like we broke open the mix of the original film and found all the original PKE sounds, proton pack sounds, the siren from Ecto-1, the Owen Martineau in the score of the original film. I mean, all kinds of sounds that right from the Columbia logo, you start hearing things from the original film. And for me, those are very personal Easter eggs. Top level Easter egg would be, there's that hotel housekeeper tag that Venkman had on his office, and you can spot that in Egon's lab in this film.
Wow, that's a pretty good one. Did not see that, and yeah, that is like top level. Those people had to watch it like 100 times, which I know there's people out there.
If it makes you feel better, I'm still spotting Easter eggs in this film because every crew member was hiding stuff on set.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it feels like everyone's a part of the joke. Not to give too much away, but you know, like with anything, we live in our new world. There's a whole generation of folks who are going to get reintroduced to this, and we got more than one Ghostbuster, so we would assume we maybe want to give them more. Do you think there's a runway for more adventures with Ghostbusters? And better question, who do you think is worthy to wear the suit?
Oh, great questions. Look, I wanted to set the table with Afterlife so I could end up seeing Ghostbusters film from all my favorite filmmakers. You know, every culture has their own relationship with ghosts, and I want to watch all those Ghostbusters movies. So I hope this is the beginning of a lot of Ghostbusters movies. And who do I want to see wear the suit? I
Yeah.
mean, like all my favorite actors, but also all my favorite directors.
Oh wow, I love that. Well, come on, you gotta give me a little bit of name. You worked with some great folks. Come on now.
I don't know. I
can
don't
see
want to like, cause like, what if they end up doing it? Like, I don't want to like, ruin it. Or what if they say no? Then that would be even like more embarrassing. I'll say this though. I'm thrilled with who we have in the suit right now. I'm excited about McKenna Grace. I'm excited about Phil Wolfhard. I'm excited about these new actors in Logan Kim and Celest O'Connor that people don't know yet. And they're going to fall in love with them in this movie and see them in flight suits.
There hasn't been a ghost sighting in 30 years. New York in the 80s, it's like The Walking Dead. Your dad never mentioned this to you?
It's just my mom.
Logan, I'll start with you because I'm just curious. Did you have a ton of Ghostbusters knowledge coming into this? And if so, you did. Okay, so do you have a favorite sort of aspect or moment? Because I feel like with this franchise, it's special for so many different reasons.
Man, the library ghost at the very beginning of Ghostbusters 1, that part is awesome. I was terrified of that when I was a kid because I always watched Ghostbusters. She always scared me. Of course, now I'm older now. Doesn't scare me anymore. But I think just in the movie we had practical effects and stuff like that, and you could really see the ghosts in front of you, and it was really cool. So
I love that. And Celeste, for you, like I think Jason says it best, it was either the scariest movie you saw as a kid or the funniest movie you saw as an adult. So walk us through when you first sort of became aware of Ghostbusters, and then also, your favorite moment.
Of course, I saw the films as a kid. I saw it with my family, my younger brother, and it was terrifying. And then when I got to set, I was rewatching the films over again, and it was hilarious. So Jason is absolutely correct. I think my favorite moment is definitely the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man stomping all over New York City.
Love that. So I do have to say with this one, so you guys knew what you were getting into as far as like the universe and just how this is like a global thing. But coming onto this set, I have to feel that it was probably different. I mean, I know this is, relatively newer things for both of y'all, but could you feel it on set how this was going to be different than anything you probably have done and definitely probably will do, just because of, just how many people are obsessed with it?
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think that everybody on set really could feel how special this story was, because it is not just a movie for the original fans, but it's a movie for everybody. It's a movie for people who have never even seen any of the films before, because I think that you kind of get introduced into this Ghostbusters universe along with all of these new characters. So we could tell that it's a movie that really is going to kind of bridge some generations, because you have the original cast, and then you also have the new characters. And so I think that's like the beauty of it. There was definitely a little buzz and energy on set.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love how it's taking a continuation of that story and makes it really interesting. Logan, I'll say with you, again, way to go on your second thing, sir. But what was it like knowing that you're going to step into this sort of like so early on?
Oh, I couldn't believe it. Like, I did FedEx and Ghostbusters now. Like, what is this? This is great. I was just blown away about having Ghostbusters, something I've seen since I was a little kid, and having all those people in front of me. It was surreal to have that experience, and I'm just so happy it's coming out finally.
Yeah, and folks are going to get to see it. What's interesting is both of you sort of had counterparts on set who, strangely enough, even though they're of similar age, they've both been working for a very long time and done a lot of very big things. So Logan, I'll start with you. Did you and McKenna did she give you any sort of like, I would say, former child actor tutelage on set to be like, when I did Captain Marvel, just kidding, no.
No, well, we made a secret handshake.
That's awesome.
Yeah, from the very beginning, we became best friends. So, I mean, throughout the set, you can it's so funny because she plays my character in real life, kind of, not without believing, Illuminati and stuff, but she's very extroverted and happy and stuff.
And it's so funny to see her just change within a scene. Throughout the movie, you can see our chemistry really, really come together, and we're still friends right now. And it's, you can just really see that in the movie. So I think that was my favorite moments, was just scenes with McKenna.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, Celeste. There's an entire, I would say, segment of teenage girls who are just jealous that you got to play a semi-love interest of Finn Wolfhard. I'm just gonna tell the tea. I'm sorry, I have to say that. But more particularly, I just have to imagine what it was like for you, because it's different feel than, you know, something like Seal in the Spades. It's just, I know that first of all, it's coming of age, and then also it's on the big screen, but also having to play with that chemistry. Did you guys have to do chemistry tests and sort of work all that out?
I think similarly, me and Finn just became really good friends from the beginning. I remember getting on set and I was super intimidated because you're right, I came right from Celest in the Spades, and it was a really, really small set and like one location. And I got to the sound stages and I saw like forklifts and cranes and construction machinery, and I didn't even realize that a set could like be that big and intricate. And I got onto the stage and I met Finn there, and he was just like the sweetest, nicest ever, and we hit it off right from the moment we got on set, and so that just made it super easy. But it was really great to work with him too, because he does have so much experience in these kinds of worlds, and so he was really helpful in that way.
I love that. And again, I appreciate you for humoring me, but the internet would have been mad if I didn't say that. So I'll go ahead and end this one. Like with any franchise like this, people are always going to be looking for new stories. And I think if this one does what's expected to do, people are going to want to see this sort of universe and these stories expand and maybe get new characters. So I'm going to ask both of you, who would you like to see in the suit? And maybe strap on a proton pack. And Logan, I'll start with you.
I don't know for sure.
I mean, somebody you would just want to work with. Maybe
Keanu Reeves. Yes.
That is a great answer. That is
Keanu
a great
Reeves
answer.
is really awesome.
Celeste?
That is amazing. I want to see more young women of color in these worlds. That's who I want to see with the suit and the proton pack. And so I'm really honored and excited to be a part of this story, and I can't wait for what's next.
Go, go, go!
Ghostbusters, we're ready to believe you.
We're closed.